Good morning, welcome back to the channel. We just got back from PRI. What an absolute blast that was. It was so nice to meet a bunch of you guys, and we really appreciate, all the feedback. You guys loved the Supra display. So many people came by the booth. Gforce, really impressed with the display, and you guys were just loving it. So it was really awesome to meet a bunch of you guys and talk, not only about the Supra 488 stuff, but so many people about HTG and other products we offer like that. It was great. We got to talk to a bunch of our current suppliers and stuff like that. There's so many people on display, and we got to meet a bunch of new ones for hopefully new projects working together. So yeah, we love PRI. One of these years we got to get out to SEMA as well, but PRI is more up our wheelhouse, just with, it's more manufacturing focused and stuff like that, and where we really are a product development company more or less than like a YouTube have fun company. So PRI is definitely more up our alley. So today we're gonna take a look at the Supra display, and we're gonna go over a few changes I think we're gonna make to some arms, and then I'm probably actually gonna show you guys, how we do it, the whole process from, measuring, designing, 3D printing, rapid prototyping, all the way to getting it on the actual stand. I know some of you guys had concerns, you're just making a shit ton of power, and some current suppliers, their arms are breaking. So hey, we wanna offer the best product, and where we haven't actually released it yet, we figured, well, if we're gonna change some things, we might as well change some things. So let's check out what we're talking about. All right, so like we said in the last video, the right side of this display is all aftermarket control arms, everything like that. Whereas the left side is all the OEM stuff minus the one link that you do have to replace no matter what. So, and if you look at this one, right, so let me, explain a 5-link suspension, right? Just really quick, welcome to my TED Talk. 5 links equals restricting 5 degrees of freedom. You have 6 degrees of freedom in total, front, back, left, right, up, down, yaw, pitch, roll. So each one of these links is basically designed to stop one of those, so that way the rear can only move up and down, right? There's no steering or anything fancy, so that's a quick on what a 5-link does. Now, for most modern cars, right, you only need 2 adjustments. You just have camber and toe, which are both controlled with like an eccentric bolt in the back of the subframe. Now, if you want, for race cars and stuff, to be more precise, right, we want to get rid of all the bushings and have more adjustability. So we go to, adjustable links with solid rod ends and things like that to get rid of deflection and deformation and things like that. So at the end of the day though, really, to get all of the freedom you could ever want, you'd want this upper camber arm to be adjustable so that you can control camber from the top by pulling this in or out, therefore tilting the wheel in or out, and toe, this back link, so that way you can control toe, which is, this motion of the tire, this motion. The rest of these are all fixed, and 99.999% of people should never even touch those. You're just gonna get lost. You're not increasing track width, right? Your axles, you need custom axles for things like that, right? No one's doing any of that. What we think, and we have heard, like 3 or 4 people did come up to us and say, hey, we've broke these at the drag strip before. And I'm like, wow, you're a crazy person. And they're like, no, actually, like we've broke these before. And I'm like, okay. So Mike and I were talking, and we think that what we're gonna do is we're gonna make the bottom tension link, the fork one, and the guide link just solid, right? Non-adjustable. You don't need the adjustment anyway. We'll use press-in bearings, and we'll make this nice and robust. And then instead of being a rod, right, we can use like an I-beam design with cutouts and stuff like that to make this way more robust while also being just as light. So there's not gonna be any sacrifice there. Unfortunately, this camber link has to be curved because of the sway bar. So, that's really a disaster. But I was working on a design in my brain of making this side instead of a rod end because it's not needed, just fixing this side. And then you can have this side adjustable with this double nut. It's a double threaded rod, so the big hex has a left hand on this side and a right hand on this side, so that when you spin the hex, it threads itself out of here and out of there at the same time, therefore getting longer or shorter. The hex is an extremely common design if you Google adjustable arms. Anyone that doesn't have a straight arm, like 85 suppliers offer that, so no big deal there. Yeah, rotating end links, right? We'll discuss that when I design. There's 3 or 4 companies that use this style. Plenty of people, at 100 companies use a jam nut. And what's the last design you could go with? I forget. I think now what we're gonna do is let's actually jump into my office and we'll show you guys what it takes to design parts. We're gonna just swap this one from a threaded rod really quick to just a solid with 2 press-in bearings. So let's go do that. All right, so let's jump into the office. It's kind of a dark hole right now. I usually just live in the dark, but that's fine. Let there be light. So, oh, actually, this is a good way to start. Let me slide this keyboard out of the way. So I kind of got 3D prints of, every way we could think of designing rod ends, right? So you start with, these are literally the cheap eBay rod ends that I actually used on my car. They last like 5,000 miles or like 4 track events basically before they blow out, but you can get these on eBay for $60, so no one's gonna stop you. They'll actually work. You can go to, I guess, this style, which we said was basically 2 flat cutouts in a straight rod, and then you had 2 points here where you could thread 1 bolt through, and that would actually clamp down the rod ends so that they didn't spin individually. Kind of like this. It's kind of a bad contrast on the background, but this one we decided to machine in some hexes as well, just to see, making ease of rotating these, because after the first few hundred miles, basically, sometimes they do suck to turn. And they are not in sweet spots that you can easily get tools into, so we thought, okay, well, maybe we'll add some hexes on both sides to help with, adjustability. Or you can go to this style, which has a free-floating locking end, which, they make about 1,000 of those that you can buy on McMaster, or for something like this, we might have to actually machine those. Right, this one's a little bit more complicated to machine just because of the ends, but it does help with service, especially getting into some of those tight spots. You have this and you can spin it. There's a few off-road companies that make this, a few Tesla companies that make this, SPL makes this end. So yeah, there's multiple ways. Jam nuts, bolts, rotating locking ends. Some of these you can buy in McMaster. Jam nuts you can obviously get everywhere. But for these, you're right, you just, not very hard, you just pick a hex size that you want for your wrench and then thread out to FK rod ends, which they just put all of their dimensions on their website. So yeah, super easy. So let's jump on the computer. I was doing some research on if we wanted to do a shimming style. We decided no, that's an absolute nightmare for most normal people, so we're going to stick to either adjustable links or fixed links. So let's grab the Supra link and get started. Linking questions. So, right, pretty standard. The crazy thing is just this end is huge and it hits the actual CV. So don't need any adjustments in it. One side's an M14, one side's an M12. So we'll just dual screen this and take some measurements and start a new design. All right, so now that we've got like the basic shape, we're just gonna go put this in the 3D printer and yeah, we'll get a prototype. So let's do it. Got the magic, so let's leave the layer and go toss this on the printer. So now just long walk down the aisle. And I mean, most everyone's seen this before, but this is where the magic happens. Cruise XL going, love that thing. Ender 3, or this is a Creality Ender 5. I don't even know what this one is, but also a big one. So It's nice, right? Like this is a good size. That's gonna be a splitter tunnel. And now we're gonna hop to the old tried and true. Little Prusa MK3. Let's see if I can do this and actually get stuff. Clean it off. We're moving and grooving. I gotta go right hand filming, left hand. Should be enough filament. There's a little bit in there. Worst case, we'll print half of it black, half of it white. And so yeah, now this is gonna heat up and start ripping. So, big fan of this one. She was giving me issues, but I found I accidentally chipped one of the fan blades. So I think that was causing it to just vibrate a little bit. So when it did the nozzle cleaning, it just kept failing. It really hated that. So, but today she fired up instantly. Let's put on the space heater just to help with warping. Got the DHU down there. Yeah, this is the best room in winter because it's like 95 degrees, 100 degrees in here almost. Okay, that might have been an exaggeration. I think we'll go 90 to 95. It gets hot. You sweat in here. I mean, this space heater works wonders. And it helps so that way you don't get any warping or anything with this. Let's see how this, yep. So, only needed supports that far, and it actually came out really well. And so we're gonna obviously, this one is gonna be used as kind of a plug. And so we'll lay up fiberglass over it, gel coat it, everything like that, and make a mold off of this. So that way when we go off track like a bunch of idiots, we can easily fix splitter things. So let's let finish up and then we'll come back when it's done. All right, so hell yeah, we got a link. All right, now let's go press in the rod ends and give this thing a test. Alright, so now that we pressed in the bearings, you can see we got our new end pieces in. This is the stock link, so an easy thing to do whenever you have adjustable links, doesn't really matter, is especially adjustable or fixed, right? You want an easy way to make sure the right length so that you don't mess up your alignment too bad. You'll need an alignment after, but if you slide the bolts through, you should be able to put it through the stock arm without actually articulating any of the bearings, and then you know that, yeah, you basically have 100% the best start you can get. And this won't change your alignment if you do this, but you should get an alignment after anyway. So now that we're done with this, let's take it over to the subframe and try it out. Alright, so let's jump in here, and you can't see anything, so take my phone flashlight and hopefully we can see that we have clearance. Probably should make it a little bit smaller. Looks like we got a few mils of clearance in there, but a little bit more might be better. So one thing I did for, let's see if the camera can hold this angle. Actually, we'll go look over here. One thing we did for this upper arm is start out thicker and taper it down around where the press-in bearing sits. This one I haven't done that yet. This was literally the first mock-up, so maybe on the next one we'll just taper the ends in a little bit. But let's get it fully in and make sure every other clearance is good. So we got plenty of room for articulation. That's good. We'll disconnect the sway bar. Actually, I'll probably go print another one just to continue that clearance. It's a little less than a finger's width, so it could never hit. They're both fixed, but hey, the more clearance the better. Might as well make it right the first time. And yeah, everything up here looks sweet. Not gonna have any issues. So let's make a Rev 2, and it's a little late, so we'll print that overnight and we'll pick that one up in the morning. All right, good morning. It's the next day, and we got our 3 arms printed, so not bad. Doesn't say the time. I think this is like a 14-hour print, but we got these done. Let's break off all of the sport material. Oh man. Satisfying. Alright, yeah, let's clean these up and we'll go press in some bearings again and do another test fit. Alright, now that I got the new arms, let's go over to the subframe. We're going to actually press out those bearings because I only ordered 4 for mock-up, and yeah, we'll press them in the new arms, test everything up, so let's do it. Alright, so we got bearings pressed in, the new links that we printed last night. Just moved the double nut, whatever. I probably need to come up with a name for that, or I probably need to Google the name for that. Threaded that back in. We did get a little crack over here. I try not to leave the space heater on overnight just because, well, I don't really want to burn the place down. So we got a little bit of shrinkage, but no other cracks, just some gnarly noises going in. But hell, it is a 3D print, so can't complain too much. So, all right, one by one, we're gonna swap these over and let's check it out. All right, we got this thing hanging on for dear life, but this is a good way to show, get the camera way down in there, that, right, we can now fit a finger. And as this articulates, we got plenty of space. So I do like that much better. That fitment's good. Now, let's just put on the upper link. This thing is just hanging on for dear life by 3D prints right now, so let's get it buttoned up. All right, so we got all the links on, and guide rod looking sweet, plenty of clearance. This new fork link, I'm calling it the fork, tension link, whatever you want to call it. I actually really like this one. This is much beefier, much more robust, and the weight is like grams difference, so who cares? I mean, that's gonna be sweet when it's billet and anodized. Like all good 3D prints, yeah, I broke one. Bastard. So, I guess this is how mocking up goes. So I'll print another one tonight. It's nothing that was the link's fault, it's just the print shrinks like 0.075 mils to 0.1 mils sometimes, and you know, I don't leave the heater on all night, so sometimes it shrinks a little bit more than I would like, and yeah, while pressing in bearings into shrinking plastic, sometimes gets a little cracked. So fitment is sweet though, everything's looking good. I would say, I mean, realistically, we're gonna send it. This one's sweet. So the last step of the process is basically to just run a FEA analysis on these, see how much load it takes to buckle, see where your weak points are, and then if we have to add, you know, some reinforcements there, or chamfers or whatnot, we can, but basically these are just solid rectangles with cutouts in them. So this will probably take thousands and thousands of pounds to bend, which is not realistic and nothing you'll ever see in the world. So that's what we like to see. All right, so I'm gonna call it a video there. Surprisingly, this is basically what we do all day, every day. It might not be the most exciting things of installing cool car parts or exhausts or doing full builds. Like I said, we're a product development company, so most of my day is stuck behind a computer, just on CAD, making new parts, developing new parts, running simulations, everything like that, so we can bring you guys more products. So we thought it would be interesting to kind of show you guys how it happens from start to finish, what we actually do here, a day in the life, and then yeah, if you guys like it, maybe we'll make more of this. Most parts like this, we're not the first ones there, so I have no problem showing you. If I have brake brackets, then, you know, sometimes we want to keep what calipers we use a secret, just until it's out, so we're first to market and stuff like that, but this stuff,
Where'd Kyle go?
Kyle's slacking off. I don't know, he's probably enjoying lunch.
Oh my God.
It is approximately 12 o'clock.
Unacceptable.
So unacceptable. No lunches here. So yeah, this is a day in the life of Seems Legit of what we actually do. And if you like it, hell, subscribe and let us know and we'll make more. We're definitely down to show you guys how we make everything. It's not a very big secret. So till next time, peace.